There alle burner shoot ut on kunneten. Thonne up and long alle burnen on Sheldonford. Then on and long hagan ut on Heathfelde, zwarte hairpathe. On long hairpathes to Imanberge. Of Imanberge eft on Hereford Berge.
This might or might not be part of the heathen and burialsas, which is the heathen burials in the charter, Saxon charter of Tadley, which neighbours onto Brimpton. Yes, we're back in Brimpton, on Brimpton Common, just we're on the boundary, and yes, this is these. Grundy says that heathen burials aren't burial mounds, but they probably are here. That first barrow, reviewing my notes, is probably Iman Berge, because it says go down to the charter. Remember from last time, it says go down to the Heathfelde, then down to the Herepath, and then to Iman Berge, and then along to Hereford Berge. So Hereford Berge must be down here. And Hereford means head, and head then, as it does today, can mean somebody that's the top of their career ladder, somebody who's a headland, anything that's at the top of something, and of course the old noggin. But so this is quite a gorgeous Bronze Age barrow cemetery, and let's go and have a look at more of it. Now, as the charter tells us, it's heath up here, Heathfelde, open space of heath, and that's sort of 1200-year-old English, early Old English. So this is an indicator of heath, because it is gorse. I think it was gorse in Old English as well, gorres in Old English as well, and it tells us that it is acidic soil. So we're looking for other, and that's basic heathland is acidic soil. We're looking for other plants as well that also give us that ecological clue, environmental clue, to help us piece together the Old English landscape. Hello, darlings. How cute are you? Hello, sweethearts. This might be the ditch which the Charter of Tadley goes up, heading up to Hereford Baughurst, the head barrow. But I can't know for I can't know for sure really. But it's just thought I'd point it out. We're heading off now down to Ashford Nature Reserve. Let's see if we can see any animals. Ecology of all sorts, and then we're heading off to have a look at another hedge, another hagan, if we can find it. Oh, I've left civilization at last. I'm in the woods. This is the Ashford. If I'm not already in it, well, it's Redlands Copse anyway, and that might give you a clue as to what our forebears thought of this landscape. There is a lot of holly, and I don't think I've ever seen lots of holly before, and I always think of it as like a niche plant, but here it is, practically making up this what was probably a shelter belt at some point. I'm walking along a ridge. I'll be heading down soon, heading down to one of the tributaries of the Enbourne, which reminds me, we need to talk about. It's not corrections, isn't quite the right word. See, I've been lucky. I was looking at some archaeological reports of the Barrows cemetery that I should have shown you by now, and they were talking about how Lark Whistle Farm, they checked the rocks map and it was always in Brimpton. I thought, well, is there any doubt that it is in Brimpton? And I didn't think there was. So I looked at the rocks map as well. 1700s. It's a beautiful map of Berkshire. Now, what was a shock? What was a shock to me? Hold on, I need to look at my map. So what was a shock to me was how poorly forested it was up here in the 1700s. You compare this to the map that I drew for you, and there's quite a lot of woodland, and also the documentary evidence in its place names. Hearsts everywhere, and well, this tells us. Well, one, I was lucky. The bit of woodland I was showing you was still woodland in the 1700s. Phew. Now, it really would make me look a bit of a so-and-so, insisting on ancient woodland where there wasn't any. But interestingly enough, the other piece of woodland is also the other hagan down here, and which must be significant in itself, that survival is a 1,000-year-old survival. But the rest of it was heathland up there, so it's one of the reasons why. See, these are good indicators of acid soil, heathland, and it's just good for nothing. It's good for grazing horses on, and that's about it. And woodland. Now there is an Iron Age settlement up here, not big, but it's there, and it is within the precinct of the the Bronze Age barrows. And what it shows us was that they weren't sacred enough not to have a farm amongst them, which I think is a fair comment. So I was pretty lucky. So the Iron Age people tried to scratch a living from it. So it must have been sheep or cattle. They definitely weren't, if they were trying to grow wheat, barley, whatever, it wasn't going to happen. So am I going off course? I am going off course. Let's get back on track. So what community doesn't care about bread or beer? Only cares about meat and wool? Well, none really, which is why Brimpton Common is an offshoot of Brimpton Village. The village down where there is arable is more important. And this is a specialised farm up here, was a specialised farm up here, dealing with meat and wool. So, and milk perhaps. So that was it. That was interesting in itself. So it's heathland. So I'm still, what I'm looking for is heather. I don't think I'm going to find it. And the reason why I wanted to find some heather is to illustrate what I'm going to say next. Is that the English language, looking at its roots, its substrata, its Old English, tells us about our history. So my mind went, my brain exploded inside my skull when I realised that heather, why is heather pronounced the way it is? It's spelled H-E-A-T-H-E-R. That E-A in the middle should have come out as heather. It should have been as in heat, sneak, meat, all sorts of other words. It doesn't make any sense until you realise it is the heath, the plant of the heath. And in Old English, heath is heath. So heather is the plant of the heath. And my brain just went boom like that when I realised that. And that's just absolutely astonishing. The old words, the old terminology tells us how they managed or understood this landscape and gives us clues as to how we should understand it. Because we're speaking the same language, just much more updated. Nouns, loads and loads of nouns are the same as they were, pretty much. They just sound change, but they are pretty much the same. I'm on a lovely old ridge, hedge in Old English. See, it drops away down here, and it drops away down here, making this a ridgeway. It's not called a ridgeway, not to my knowledge anyway. But ridgeways were very, very important right up until we had tarmac, because we didn't want to get our feet wet. We're obviously no longer up on the heath now. We're down in the in the valley in meadow, as you can see, flat as a pancake. And its traditional job is only really one thing, and that's the production of hay. And hay can be mown and taken indoors and stored to keep your animals alive in winter. Now, so we're seeing a change in plants, so we're seeing alders along here. And remember the river we were talking about last time, its name was Arlaburn, and that means alderburn. You've got alders, alderborn, and you've got alders along here, which are very admirable trees. And but this isn't the Alderborn. This is a tributary of it. The Alaburn. Alaburn is today called the Enburn. This is a tributary of it that was called today it's called Baughurst Brook. In the Anglo-Saxon times it was called Fisher's Burn, which means fishes burn, fishes born, and which is not, again shows how the nouns are hardly changed from 1,000 years ago to today. What's different is, well, quite a lot of French and Latin is entered, but we don't use them very often. Of 100 words you will use day to day, 80 of them will be derived from Old English. But there are some Norse words that we use more often, his and hers, for example, and their. We use the Norse versions of those. The Old English ones were different, mostly because mostly by not having a T on the beginning. But anyway, but yes, this is Fisher's Burn, and it's marked in the charter. But the charter meets it further on up. I just wanted to come and have a look at this bit of natural England land. It's been set aside for nature, but still managed by a farmer, so it's still being used for hay. Well, it's certainly being mown anyway. Coming up to my objective, the hagan, the hedge. Now, because it's inside a modern wood, all I can hope for is a wood bank. I know where it should go. It should join the road up there, and it should be at an acute angle away from me now. If I can find it, I've achieved what I aim to find. Whether I can say anything about it is another matter entirely. But I've come this far, and so wish me luck. I'm not sure. Right, we've come so far. I'm going to let you decide. Right, this is the 10th century evidence as to where this place is. Right. Arrest on Hever Berg. That's where we are. We're on top of the hill. Thonna on Wertwallen. Wertwallen means, in a dictionary sense, it means the bottom of the hill. We're at the bottom of the hill over here. On that hagan ende, and to the hedge end. I think the hedge end is where the road's, the bottom of the hill next to the road. I think the whole of this is the hedge end, but you make your mind up. Thonna and long hagan, they are fishes burner and ala burner together shotter. So that means along the hedge to fishes born, which I've shown you, and ala burner, the end born, together shoot. They come together, they shoot together. I'll show you it where it shoots together. Then I'll show you what I think is the wood bank. Obviously, we're not going to be able to collect species and give a hoop a date because we're in a wood. We were surrounded by woodland, but I wanted to find the wood bank. Now, you tell me if I'm going to show you a bit of map, show you where the fishes burner and the ala burner meet together, shotaf, which is here. I'll show you footage of that, and then I'll show you where I think the wood bank is, and then you tell me in the comments below, have I got it right or am I just barking? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please watch this one next. Otherwise, I hope to see you soon. Thank you for watching. Ta-da for now.